Shalom, welcome to the Jewish Task Force, JTF. My name is Chaim Ben Pesach. This is part 2 in our series on how Peace Now attacked our forum, the JTF forum and website. And the forum and website were actually brought down for 36 hours last week because of the attack, and also because we were getting so many new visitors because our movement is growing so quickly. We already explained that on part 1. I don't want to repeat what we already talked about on part 1, except to say again that Peace Now, the organization that attacked our forum and website in Israel, our Hebrew forum and website, this organization represents the Israeli ruling establishment. These are the people who run the Israeli government, the army, the police, the courts, and they view us as a tremendous threat to their plan to dismember the Jewish homeland and vivisect the Jewish state, because they basically want to vivisect the Jewish state, and we discussed why on part 1. But now I just want to quote from what Peace Now said in a massive email that they sent out. And that's not just Peace Now. Other left organizations also participate in this massive email. And they were referring to our organization. Our organization in Hebrew, again, is called Hayamin Ha'amiti. So when I say Hayamin Ha'amiti, which means the real right in Hebrew, that is JTF in Israel. And here's what these radical left traitors wrote, and I quote, Hayamin Ha'amiti is brainwashing thousands of young Israelis on flicks and filling them with fanatic hatred against our Palestinian neighbors and against all Israelis who desire a just peace. Hayamin Ha'amiti has succeeded in making the Nazi ideology of Kahana acceptable on the Hebrew internet. We cannot watch this growing danger in silence. All Israelis and Palestinians who want an end to the cycle of violence must confront Hayamin Ha'amiti before they become too big to stop. Unquote. Now let's analyze this for a moment. First of all, they refer to the ideology of Gedol Dorenu Harav Meir Kahana Zecher Tzadik Livracha Hashem Yikom Damo. May the memory of this saint be immortalized. May God avenge his blood. They refer to his ideology as a Nazi ideology. Their Arab Muslim Nazi friends whom they support, who openly support Hitler, who openly praise Hitler on Al Jazeera, on Al Arabiya, on Egyptian television, Jordanian television, Saudi television, on all Arab and Muslim television stations. Every day they praise Hitler. Every day they promise to perpetrate another Holocaust against the Jewish people and against all non-Muslim infidels. And they compare us to the Nazis for wanting to stop the real Nazis, the Muslim Nazis, from being able to carry out their campaign of genocide against us. They support the Muslim Nazis. They support Nazism in our generation. The heirs to the legacy of the Third Reich and of Hitler are the Muslims. And any Jew, any Christian, so-called Christian, any so-called Jew, any self-hating traitor that supports the Muslims, collaborates with them or enables them, is supporting Nazism. And they have the nerve to compare us. We want to save little Israel and the Jewish people, and we also want to save America from this horrible threat. And they compare us to the Nazis? We want to save the world from the real Nazis, the Muslim Nazi terrorists who have murdered millions. They've already perpetrated, the Muslims have perpetrated Holocausts against their own people already. You know that millions of Muslims have already been murdered by their fellow Muslims. 2 million. 2 million Sudanese blacks have been murdered in Sudan by the Arab Muslim Nazis in Sudan. Just in Sudan, they murdered over 2 million men, women, and children. In the Iran-Iraq War, the 1980s, Iran and Iraq murdered over 2 million Muslims, were killed by their fellow Muslims in that war. They perpetrated a Holocaust against their fellow Muslims. The Muslims in Iraq and the Muslims in Iran were using poison gas against their own women and children. And they've already perpetrated Holocaust. They're not joking when they promise to set off nuclear bombs in American cities or wipe Israel off the map or set off nuclear bombs in Europe. They're not joking about that. They really have a Nazi agenda of total genocide. And anybody that backs them, excuses them, tolerates them, enables them, is collaborating with the Nazis of our day and our generation. We are the ultimate anti-Nazis, the anti-fascists. The left are the true Nazis and the true fascists of our generation. But look at what they write. They write about the Palestinians and Palestinian neighbors. There are no Palestinians. There never was a Palestine. The Arabs themselves said until the 1960s there's no such thing as Palestine. Nobody spoke about a Palestinian state or Palestinians or Palestine before the 1967 Six-Day War. This is a recent invention of history. It's complete bunk. It's baloney. You won't see any of this more than 40 years ago. More than 40 years ago, nobody spoke about this. The Arabs themselves said this is baloney. Now they invented this as an excuse to destroy tiny little Israel. But look at what they write. Look how encouraging this is. They write that we are brainwashing thousands of young Israeli Jews. That our organization is brainwashing thousands of young Israeli Jews. We're brainwashing them. We're telling young Israeli Jews that we have to have a Jewish homeland, that we should not surrender the little land that Israel has, that we should not commit national suicide, that the Arab Muslim Nazis who want to destroy us are the enemy, and we have to fight and resist their efforts to commit genocide against us. That we have to fight self-hating Jewish traitors that collaborate with the Arab Muslim Nazis and that also want to dismember the Jewish homeland. That's brainwashing? Who's doing the brainwashing here? They're telling Jewish youth that Islam is wonderful and a religion of peace, but they should hate Judaism. They're anti-Judaism, they're anti-Christianity, they're anti-Judaism, they're anti-Christianity, but they're pro-Muslim. That's their message. And they say that we're brainwashing. They're the ones who are brainwashing. We're the ones who are straightening people out and making sense for a change. And saying we're the only sane people among the whole Jewish people. We're the only damn sane people. But look how threatened they feel by us. We're all over the Hebrew internet now. Young Israeli Jews are speaking about us. And after they took our forum down, they thought this would break us. They took our forum down. And after they took our forum down, you know what happened as soon as our forums came back up? We now have more members, more people coming to us, more activity on the forums than we had before, on the English language forum and on the Hebrew language forum. By the way, this is the English language forum. And I want to say to Gentiles who are watching this program, most of our members in the United States are not Jewish. So you are welcome to join our movement. We want to save America as well from the threat of Islamic terrorism. And we want all decent people to support us and join with us to fight together against this Islamic Nazi threat that threatens all of civilization. So we want to say to non-Jews, just because it's called the Jewish Task Force, believe me when I tell you, the majority of our members, if you go on our forum, you'll see the majority of our members in the United States on the English language forum are not Jewish. So you're more than welcome to join us. And your place is with us if you understand the nature of this threat. But they say that they're afraid, and Peace Now Traitors said they're afraid, and they have to stop us before we become too big to stop. That's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. We're on our way to becoming too big to stop. Help us become too big to stop. Help us do this. We'll make this a better world. Together we'll make this a better world. Help us. We need your financial support. We need your active support. We need you to volunteer to help us. We need you to participate in our forums. We need you to spread the word about our movement. Help us become too big to stop. And together we'll defeat the evil establishment that is destroying Israel and that also is destroying America. There is also an establishment in America of multinational corporate traders who are doing the same thing to America. We've got to fight them and stop them as well. They feel threatened by us. They understand how serious this is. They understand that this is a very serious movement and that we are a threat to the evil people that want to destroy everything that is holy, everything that is sacred, everything that is good. Together we can make this a better world. Together we can make a difference. And I know that they have much more money than we have. And I know that they have so much power and we don't have it. We're just ordinary grassroots people who just want to do the right thing and make this a better world and protect our men, women, and children from being murdered or being forcibly converted to Islam. All we want is what's best for the world. They're armed with their huge corporations and their money and their power. We're only armed with our faith and with the truth. But our determination, our perseverance, our commitment to the truth and to justice and to principles will in the end be stronger than all of their money and all of their power if you join with us, if you decide to make a difference with us. Together we can save America, Israel, and Western civilization. Together we can make a difference. They're afraid of us. Let's give them a real reason to be afraid even more. Shalom.